questions. We're getting ready to begin. That wasn't the cooking show. Now we're getting ready to begin. The reason why I did that is because the news wants to document what's happening, because this is a new program for the music. Okay. My name is Meeta. I am a presenter in the Greenfield Village. I've been here nearly 7 seasons, and I am a reenactor, historical presenter in the Mattox House, the Susquehanna House, that captain. My job is to tell you, not only to demonstrate the cooking, but to tell you some history of the ingredients, of the people, where African American cooking actually derived from. And so it is. That's my job today. What we are presenting, what I have cooked here, excuse me, is actually foods that we have prepared in the Mattox House, which is the 1930 farmhouse in the Greenfield Village. These are actually dishes from the that are used in the 1930s house, but these dishes and recipes come from centuries before and then changed over time. We have peach chutney. The reason why these dishes are chosen in part is because they are the ingredients are directly related to the people in Africa, okay, where the African American culture stems from. Now, in this peach chutney, there is peaches, raisins, lots of bell pepper and onions, because in Africa they use a lot of onions, they use a lot of chili peppers, they use a lot of spice. So in this dish, again, celebrating Africa, this is also ginger in there. There is raisins, there is brown sugar, there is something that you wouldn't expect actually. There is red pepper in there is black pepper in there is salt in there is cinnamon in there is cloves in there. And actually this is a side dish that is best used with the pork, accompanying pork either on or on the side, or chicken. So again, this is peach chutney, celebrating Africa with all of these spices. Now we have, of course, you know, this is fried chicken, and by the way, we know that many cultures eat fried chicken, okay? But because this is a Black History celebration, we know fried chicken or fried meat were used in Africa. They ate them a lot in Africa as well. And then when the colors come to America through slavery, they continue that tradition. Frying it is easy, it's quick, and then the oils that they used in Africa, the palm oil, the cola oil, the coconut oil, was very prominent, but in the South, those things were not readily available to the colors, so they ended up using a lot of lard because of that's what was available from the butchering of the meat, rendering the fat. Now, what makes good fried chicken is not that you just fry it in the pan. If you were in the South, if you've ever had for real Southern fried chicken, you know the difference than when you cook it at home or you go to a friend's house and they're cooking that chicken 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and they're cooking it low and they're turning it 15 times and it's dried and rough, and you don't want to say anything because it's your friend's house. But if you've ever had good Southern fried chicken, you know the difference. You may say, well, why is it? What makes it so different? It's in the cooking technique, okay? All right, so I had to hurry up. I'm sorry I couldn't prepare this in front of you, but I had so much to do today, and I'm sort of flying solo with this cooking show. I'm usually part of a team, so I had to go ahead and prepare this earlier. The technique consists of what you cook your fried chicken in. My partner, she took the frying pan. But the best thing to cook in the South, they use a lot of cast iron. But if you cannot use a cast iron pan or a cast iron kettle, they're a little bit costly, but they're worth it. Then the next best thing is a stainless steel pan. If you're cooking your chicken in Teflon, try not to do that if you want the best kind of chicken. Okay, so it is the best fried chicken. It does depend on what you cook it in, the cooking utensil. Cast iron if you can, stainless steel if you can. The next thing is make sure that your grease is hot. Make sure that it's not burning hot, but you want to fill that pan up to about 1/3 of the way with peanut oil or lard or whatever oil that you can handle. The best thing is peanut oil If you have to use a canola oil, do that for health reasons. Make sure it's nice and hot, so when you do test it, you put a small piece of that chicken in, and I'm very animated, but when you put that chicken in, it should make a sound that grease should go shoom, like that, you see? And it bubbles up. Have you ever seen grilled chicken fry? Okay, so it bubbles up. It don't just sit there and have little bubbles. You want to make sure that grease is really hot, so it actually shoom, make that sound, bubble over that chicken. You cook it between 7 and 15 minutes, usually about 12 minutes, turning it one time, taking it out, put it on a paper towel, letting that grease drain. But what you should have is when you cut that chicken open, slice it open, should be light and crispy golden on the outside. But when you cut it open, then you have that juice, the clear juice just run out. Woo! That's really when you have a good chicken. Now, so Southern fried chicken is in the technique. It doesn't matter if you put black pepper, salt. It doesn't matter if you put paprika, which a lot of the Southerners do use that. But it doesn't matter if you soak it in buttermilk or not. Some Southerners soak it in buttermilk. You don't have to do that if you know the technique of frying the chicken properly. It will come out moist and tender if you follow what I'm saying. So now you want to go home and look up good Southern fried chicken recipe, but pay attention to the technique more than you pay attention to the buttermilk and all that. You don't have to do that. Okay, but if you do, it just makes it extra tender, but you don't have to do that. Now, the other thing we have to prepare is celebration. Now, we talked about Africa with the spices and those things. Now, let's go down again. Let's stay back in this. Let's stay in the South. This is Hoppin John. Beans and rice are used in every culture, just about. Okay. So here's the thing. There's nothing different with colored people between the colored cooking in other cultures that use beans and rice. But in the South, what happens is this beans and rice becomes something fantastic. This is Hoppin John, the Southern Hoppin John. Hoppin John usually consists of rice and black-eyed peas or rice and some other bean and mixed together. That's it. Okay. Now, but we got a beautiful historical recipe where it becomes Southern Hoppin John because it was the Southerners in America that began to add the meat to it. Okay. So the pork or chicken, any part of the pork that you like. Now what happened here, I had some prepared white rice, and then I had some black-eyed peas. I put a little bit of garlic salt. I put some of my hot sauce, my hot pepper sauce. You can use any kind you like, but that's Louisiana hot pepper sauce. I put in some green bell pepper, some white onion, and I let that sit in my crock pot for a while. And then you know what else I did? Then that's when I sauteed. Then I took about 2 tablespoons of butter. Then I took a little bit more garlic salt. And then I took some of that Louisiana hot sauce, put it in there. And then I put some more green onions in there also. And I put some of that pork. And then I just layered it on top of the beans that I layered on top of the rice. So that would be a complete meal, especially for those colors, be they slave, be they after slavery, be they poor whites in the South. This would be a complete meal. And so now, so that's Southern Hoppin John. Fried chicken, we talked about the technique. We talked about the peach chutney, but there are all kinds of chutneys celebrating the motherland of Africa. Now, what we have here too, we also have some fried apple pies, which I will cook in the second show. I will demonstrate how to make a delicious, flaky crust Southern fried apple pie. Right? Actually, in Africa, they fry their pastries as well. So, but we started with some dehydrated apples. See, here's the thing. A lot of Southerners, they peel their apples, but I was given these special apples because one of my bosses, she dehydrated some apples, left the skin on. It's good. My point is, if you leave the skin on the apple, it's quite fine. Don't panic. By the way, there's more vitamins if you do that, and then you can sort of comfort yourself when you're eating that and you realize you just fried that very healthy bean in a bunch of water. And then you just topped it with some sugar and more powdered sugar. And something is leave the skin on so you can sort of tell your doctor, yes, I did eat my apple today. Okay, here's it. So now when we do that, again, the second show I will demonstrate. But I have some here already. I'm going to put these back on and I'm going to caramelize these. They already have cinnamon, they already have lemon juice, they already have sugar, white sugar. If you want brown sugar, go ahead. I like to add ginger in my apple filling, so I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water, and I'm going to let that caramelize, and then I'm going to create a dough over here out of my flour that I have seen. My lard, yes, even Martha Stewart uses lard in her pie crust, so you know, hey. So here's the thing, and then a little bit of salt, the sugars for the apples, and then I'm going to roll that out, cut them about a teacup sausage size, and then I'm going to fry them in front of you again at the second show. But I wanted to feel some question, so I just wanted to tell you, by the way, for those who have just come, if I hadn't said, we are here celebrating our people, and amazing people like from your culture, your people are amazing, but we are celebrating, for the sake of Black History Month, the people of color, all the way from Africa and Egypt to all the way down through the Caribbean, all the way down to the South, and all the way all over through the Black cookery. The reason why I said Black cookery is because there's no such a thing as soul food. I just got somebody's attention. You said, what are you preparing? You talking about smothered pork chop, fried apple pie, fried chicken, Southern Hoppin John, and you saying, as an African-American woman, there's no such a thing as soul food? That's what I said. So here's the thing. Soul food is a phrase that some food writer in the middle 1900s created to try to explain to their column readers the flavors of the food that was being prepared by the colored people. They tried to describe the culture of the people through the food. What they ended up finding out that there was no name, there was no specific name for the kind of cooking with all of the spices, with all of the herbs and the seeds, like the benet seed or the sesame seed, like all the coconut oil and all these things. There was no particular name for this kind of cooking. Okay, so think about it. Wherever you're from, whatever your heritage is, you just eat the food. If you're Irish, you eat a lot of potatoes, and then you call it food. In the Middle East, they call it Middle Eastern cuisine. Africa, African cooking. But there was no specific name. So this food writer was perplexed. So this person said, you know what? This food, look it up. He said, or she said, this food has so much flavor, there's so much passion. They take so little and make so much, and when you eat it, it is so filling. I'm satisfied. It truly satisfies me.